have one slice of kosher meat and two slices of nevela. So it would, and now our question is: does the kosher meat become nullified? Now, why should that be a problem if it becomes nullified? Why do you need to nullify kosher? You never need to nullify kosher. If it's all I need to know is I can't eat it, or if I touch it, I'm tummy. So it doesn't need to be nullified. I just need to say that it's a doubt, and that's enough, right? So once it's a doubt, then if you touch it, then it's all the laws would apply. So the Gemara here is taking this specific, interesting scenario where if truma touches it. Now, if truma becomes impure, then I burn it. If it doesn't become impure, I'm not allowed to burn it. So let's say it's a doubt if it's impure. So if the kosher meat does not get nullified, and truma touches one of these three slices, two slices are impure, one slice is pure, and truma touches it, I'm not allowed. If I say that it's nullified, then I can burn the truma because all three are impure. It's nullified. It's now impure. But if I say that it's not nullified, then I can't burn it. I have to just let it sit until it rots and whatever. You follow? That's our question. Does the kosher meat become nullified?
According to the thing you just said now, it doesn't. I mean, it does because kosher meat after shechita, either way, it's separate.
Okay. So now, what are we looking at? Are we looking at
the two pieces versus one?
Okay, the two. Well, let's look at the nullifier. So can nevela ever become kosher? If nevela could become kosher, then it's the same type and it won't nullify it. The same type doesn't get nullified. So the Gemara says, "V'shchuta eina betela b'nevela." The kosher meat does not become nullified in the nevela because it's possible for nevela to become kosher. Shefshin nevela shetasa shchuta. How? When it rots.
Right.
Rotted meat becomes not kosher, it loses its taste, and it doesn't make things impure. So therefore, it's considered the same type as the kosher meat, and the same type doesn't nullify. So therefore, you won't be able to burn the truma that touches this mixture. Follow? Okay. I guess I should add one point here that normally we would have always said in all the laws of nullification is that the easiest way of understanding it is that everything has its status, base status where it begins, and that is everything is kosher, and then there are things that are non-kosher. So when you throw the non-kosher thing into this kosher mixture, so it loses its individuality and it becomes just what everything else is, which is kosher. So the way you're supposed to view it is that the non-kosherness is an added property that gets lost in a large mixture. Now, it's really impossible to say that the kosher property should get lost in a non-kosher mixture because non-kosher is an added property itself. It's not the base. It's not you want it to fall back on what it's meant to be. Now, if you have this understanding, you'll understand all the laws of kashrus and all of that. Everything fits in. The problem is right here, we're saying that could something kosher become non-kosher, become impure just because of nullification, which is very unique. This is a unique discussion that we're having. According to Hasidus, everything has its own life force, so it comes from a different source. There's no such thing as everything is kosher, and there's an added quality of non-kosher on top of it, an added property. No, non-kosher comes from the three impure klipa, right? And kosher comes from the klipa snaiga, the middle, the fourth klipa. It has its own life force, so you really don't have the elementary level of everything, and then added properties and all of that. It's not. Everything is totally independent from where it's starting. So anyway, that's our discussion. The main point here is that according to Rav Chisda, you view the nullifier and see if the nullifier could ever be, at any stage, even after it rots, like what's being nullified. And if it does, then we're going to categorize it as the same type. Because at one point they could be the same thing. At any point in the process, they could be the same thing. And so therefore they're the same type. The same type doesn't become nullified. That's the opinion of
So
Rav Chisda.
you don't look for Rav Meruba or Bat B'Shishin.
Oh, you need Rav. Of course you Rav. But will I say that I can use Rav is only if it's min b'shein mina, if it's different types. Rabbi Chanina Amar, Rabbi Chanina says exactly the opposite. He says, Kol she'ef shalei liyas kamayu, einei batal. Kol she'ef shalei liyas kamayu is batal. Says you keep looking at the nullifier. Let's view it exactly the opposite. Let's look at what gets nullified. Can what gets nullified ever be like the nullifier? So let's go back. If I have 2 pieces of kosher meat and 1 nevela, will the nevela ever be kosher? Yes, after it rots. So therefore it's the same type, and therefore it's not batal, and it's I have to view each piece like it's nevela, because it's not batal. Exactly the opposite of Rav Chisda. Let's do it the other way. If I have 2 pieces of non-kosher meat, that's tamei, and 1 piece of kosher meat, well, can the kosher meat ever become nevela? The answer is no. So it's different types. The kosher meat becomes nullified to the 2. The 1 to the 2 becomes nullified. And if truma touches it, I burn the truma. It's not a doubt anymore. It becomes okay.
We said the non-kosher, the 2 non-koshers touch. No, you put 2 non-koshers in with the 1 kosher.
Right.
And something which becomes nullified.
The kosher
becomes nullified.
Nullified, according to Rabbi Chanina.
What does nullified mean?
Nullified means that it is so non-kosher that if anything touches it,
right,
it's not that it's a doubt. Did it touch this one or did it touch that one? It touched
unambiguously.
Unambiguously
non-kosher,
and therefore truma will be burnt because it became impure. Truma that touched it will be burnt. If it's a doubt, then I can't burn the truma. If it's just a mixture and I don't know, it says, well, I have to be strict. Yeah, you're strict. Okay, don't eat it. But it doesn't mean that you burn it. You only burn it if it's definitely
impure.
And here it's definitely impure. Yeah, it's interesting that we're using nullification for impurity.
Yeah.
You know, you just imagine this thing, yeshiva bacher, he borrows $100 from someone, he says, give it back to me. He says, no, I took the $100, I put it inside a pot with other money, it became nullified. Now I don't know. You know, like to what? When do you use this nullification thing? You know, it doesn't work like that. So you don't nullify as. So here, impurity has to do with, did it come in contact with?
Right.
Kosher, non-kosher, I understand. You're eating.
Right.
Is it? How do I view it? Do I consider it kosher? Do I consider it not? But impurity, it's a. Did it come in contact with something impure, or is it impure or not? But I guess we're viewing it similar to the laws of kosher, that we have to view it as impure. Okay.
It's the same thing with live animals.
Live animals never become nullified.
But they can become nevela.
They also can't become nevela. A live animal can never be tamei.
No, but they can become
if they slaughter.
not kosher because like when they inject needles.
Oh, you're saying like a treifa.
Treifa, yeah.
That is actually a discussion because it would be relevant for the milk. It's irrelevant for the milk. Milk of a treifa is not allowed. That's a problem. So it's better to use chalav Yisrael because the chalav Yisrael dairies need to check the animals to make sure they didn't have certain procedures done.
I bring up that point with a lot of people, and they just brush it off because people don't learn it.
You mean an injection into a cow will make it?
Certain injections could make the animal a treifa.
Because of hormones, you mean?
No, it's not actually not the hormone. It's actually the puncture.
The puncture.
So, but the chalav Yisrael, they're not allowed to do that. Certain because it would make the milk not good as well. So, I'm sure the companies, if this OU, I'm sure they worked it out and how to do it. But it's another factor that gets taken into the people don't realize. Okay. Ali B'Daman. We have this discussion here, second line from the bottom. Who are we going according to? Eily B'Darabanan. If this whole discussion, Rab Chizda and Rab Chanina, the machlekes Rab Chizda and Rab Chanina is: are we looking at the nullifier or are we looking at the nullified? Can this one become like the other one at any point? And that was the machlekes, nullifier, nullified. But who are they discussing according to? If it's according to the rabbis, it's only things that are offered up on the altar that are not nullified, like the two types of blood, the blood of the goat and the blood of the bull and the blood of the goat, that are both sprinkled on the altar. The sages say that the same type is batal anyway. We kept saying, it becomes the same type, and then it's not batal. That can't be the sages. The sages say the same type is batal, is nullified. Eily but Rabbi Yehuda. Let's say it's according to Rabbi Yehuda. Well, Rabbi Yehuda was also extreme. But Rabbi Yehuda, basar chazusa azal. He goes after its appearance. Gemara doesn't actually mean appearance; it means the substance, the physical aspect of it. And v'idi v'idi min b'minayu. And both of these are the same type, and they're not nullified. And it doesn't matter which one, if it can become like the other one or not. It's always the same type. Gemara says, we're going according to Rabbi Chia. Tani Rabbi Chia, nevela shchuta b'tela zubazu. Rabbi Chia says that nevela and shchuta are nullify one and the other. Now, it's funny the wording of this b'tela zubazu. It sounds like that they each get nullified. Rav Chanina and Rav Chizda are discussing the words of Rabbi Chia. Which one gets nullified? The nevela and the shchuta and the nevela. That's the machlekes. Okay. Now the Gemara asks, well, Rabbi Chia is not a Tana. Rabbi Chia is... He did the brises. He edited the brises. But maybe he is considered a Tana. But who was he teaching it according to?
He's a student of Rabbi, no?
Student of Rabbi. Rabbi is the last of the Tanaim. But however, Rav is also a student of Rabbi, becomes like a Tana. But the Gemara asks, Rabbi Chia liba deman, who's Rabbi Chia going according to? Ia liba de Rabbanan. If he goes according to Rabbanan, Hamrinan Eilen Hudle Mevatle Adadi, Hamin B'minei Batel. We're back to the same problem. So he introduced a new name. But who does this new name go according to? Who does Rabbi Chia go? If he goes according to the rabbis, they said that only things that are offered on the temple, offered on the altar, are not nullified. This should definitely be nullified. Eily b'de Rabbi Yehuda. If it goes according to Rabbi Yehuda, kol min b'minei l'Rabbi Yehuda le'batel. Rabbi Yehuda holds anything that's the same type is never nullified. So here it's the same type; it's never nullified. What's the discussion, Rabbi Chanina and Rabbi Chizda? V'yayla mali b'de Rabbi Yehuda. Really, it's going according to Rabbi Yehuda. It's the way we explained it. When did Rabbi Yehuda say that the same type is not nullified? Hani mili. That's only That's only if it at any stage it could actually be like it in its same quality. It's batal. And when or where it cannot be like the same one, it cannot be like the other one, then it's nullified. And this is the machlekes. The Rav Chizda savar basar mevatel azlina. Rav Chizda says we look at the nullifier and we see, can the nullifier be like the nullified at any stage? Which in our case was, can the nevela turn into the shchuta? Can it become kosher at any stage? And if it can, then it's the same type, which it can because it rots. But the opposite, shchuta can never be nevela because the shchuta is kosher already. It can't turn into a nevela. It can't die again. So therefore, it's not the same type. And then it will nullify the other one. But we always look at the one that's nullifying, not not what gets nullified. Rabbi Chanina savar basar batal azlinan. Rabbi Chanina says that you go after the one that gets nullified, and he views it exactly the opposite. Okay, Tanan. It's a hard piece. It's That was a difficult little discussion.
Well, you say Rav Chisda holds that the nullifier or the nullifying.
Rav Chisda holds the nullifier. Rav Chanina holds the nullified.
Right. Wait. Say it again. Rav Chisda holds the
nullifier.
Of course, the nullifying agent here. Yeah, nullifier.
If you want to just remember from the names, Rav Chisda is Chesed, so he's the giver. He's the one that's on top. And Rav Chanina is Chayin, is grace. That comes from the recipient. That's the way if you want to remember. It has nothing. I'm no Kabbalistic thing here. It's just mnemonic.
Yeah. Okay, got it. Do you know? Grace and Chesed.
Tanan, our Mishnah. Shtei Menachos b'tzu v'nesar v'zu b'zu. If two carbon minchas, the kmitza was not done, and they get mixed up. If you can do kmitza on both of them independently, without the others getting mixed in, then it's valid. And if you can't, then it's invalid. But here, even the kamitz le'mechada, when you do kmitza from one of them, ida chavale shirayim, what's left becomes shirayim, and before you get to do kmitza from the other one, we say that it did not nullify the other mincha. The shirayim of this mincha did not nullify the other mincha, because you got to do kmitza off one. They're mixed up. You got to do kmitza off one part, and it doesn't nullify the other one before the kmitza is done. So Mani, whose opinion is this? Rabbanan, if it's the Rabbanan, they say that what gets put on the altar does not nullify one another. Ha-min b'minai is batal. But if it's the same type, it would nullify. So here I have the same type, I have two menachos, and then for some reason it's not nullifying one of the other, even though the remnants does not get put on the altar. According to the sages, this one should nullify the other. So it's Ela Pshita Rabbi Yehuda. It must be that it's Rabbi Yehuda. If I go after what gets nullified, so batal habikim avatal, the one that gets nullified could end up being like the nullifier. How? Because when I take kmitza from this one, the what gets nullified, I will turn it into what the other one is, and it will be exactly the same like the other one. So therefore, it's the same type. The same type is not nullified. So that's why you're allowed to do this. So it works out well. But if I go after the nullifier, what's the nullifier? That's the shirayim. Can the shirayim ever turn into the one that the kmitza wasn't done yet? Mika shirayim, Mika habi tivla. Can it become tevel? Can it become back into what's the kmitza wasn't taken from? Lema the like Rab Chia. It must be that it doesn't go according to Rab Chia. That Rab Chia was the way that we explained. These two opinions were arguing in Rab Chia. The Gemara says Hasan kid Rab Zera. No, you have to. There's another factor here that you're ignoring. That's the factor of Rab Zera. It says that you burn the kaimetz, and it also says that you don't burn the shirayim, but it mentions the offering of the shirayim, that you don't do it. Just like when you offer the kaimetz, we said that two kaimetz don't nullify one another. You can burn them both together, and it wasn't a problem. So also, when it says don't do the shirayim, that would mean that the shirayim won't nullify the kaimetz. Okay, so because we have that special factor here, that one doesn't nullify the other, based on the psukim, so you can't use Rab Chanina or Rab Chisda as a proof, or you can't use this as a proof to if they're correct or not. Okay, we're going to do this again 3 times, exactly the same thing, with different cases, and we're going to say this must be a proof to one or the other, and then we're going to bring Reb Zera, that you can't bring a proof from here because this is a case of a mincha where one doesn't nullify the other based on a pasuk.
Let me see, take it. I'm joking here.
Close, yeah. Toshima. HaKaimetz shenesarav b'mincha shlei nikbitza, the kaimetz that gets mixed in with the mincha, that the kmitza wasn't done, la yakter, don't offer it up. Vim hikter, zusha nikbitza also labailim. Then only the kaimetz is valid, because that's what's meant to be offered. The other one is not valid. Zusha shlei nikbitza la also labailim. It wasn't valid, it didn't help the owners. The Gemara asks, or the Gemara points out first, the kaimetz did not get nullified in this case, even though it's with a full mincha. Mani, who would hold that? Irabanan, if it's the rabbis, according to the rabbis, the kaimetz is mixed in here, it should be nullified. The other thing does not get offered on the altar. Only things that get offered on the altar don't nullify each other. But the regular mincha does not get offered on the altar, only the kaimetz does. And there's only one kaimetz here. The other things should have nullified the kaimetz. El pshita Rabbi Yehuda must be Rabbi Yehuda. And it's the same type, both flour. If you go after the nullifier, and what's the nullifier here? The shirayim, the full mincha, that's the nullifier, it's nullifying the kaimetz. Mevatel havi kebatel. And it can become like what's nullified. Why? The kol porta chazal mikmetz minei. Because every section of this mincha could have been the kaimetz. You could do kmitza on it. V'havalei min b'mina, min b'mina lebatel, and then it's not nullified. And now everything makes sense. Why you can offer it up. But according to the one that says that you view what gets nullified, can it become like the nullifier? Kaimetz. Mika havi tivla. Can the kaimetz turn into a full mincha that the kaimetz wasn't taken from? Can never happen. Therefore, it's a different type. It should have been nullified. Leimad like Rab Chia. Gemara says Hanami kid Rab Zera. This also is like Rab Zera. Okay, we have that answer before where we have the verses, and the verse tells me that it doesn't get nullified. Now you remember they had this joke in the prison where they were there for so long, everyone knew all the jokes. They just added numbers to them, and they would just someone would call out 14. And everyone would laugh, and so someone called out a number or something, and no one laughed. So why didn't they laugh? So you didn't say it right. So what the Gemara does here is it just calls out the question by it just puts in an etc. mark, chulu, and then it gives the answer. It's like it's totally shorthand. Let's see. Tashema nesar of kaimetz b'shirayim. If the kaimetz gets mixed in with the remnants, it's either its remnants or shel chaverta or the remnants of the other mincha. Lo yakta, you don't offer it up. Vim hikter, but if you did offer it up, also labailim. It does. It is valid. Okay, so I have a kaimetz with shirayim. But over here, the mevatel, the shirayim can never be the kaimetz. And nevertheless, and it doesn't nullify it, even though it can never be like it. Why doesn't it nullify it? It can never be like it. It's a different type. It should have nullified it. Mani, who is this like? Irabanan. If it's the rabbis, the Gemara doesn't even bother going through the whole thing. It could have gone through the whole thing. If it's like the rabbis, then it should have been nullified. If it's like Rabbi Yehuda, then let's look at whose opinion it is, Rabbi Chanina or Rabbi Chisda. The Gemara just says chulu, etc. Amar Rab Zera, it just gives us the answer. Amar Rab Zera, nemer haktar b'kaimetz or nemer haktar b'shirayim. Ma haktar amura b'kaimetz ein kaimetz v'atlas chaverei. Af haktar amura b'shirayim ein shirayim v'atlas kaimetz. That when it comes to the kmitza, when it comes to the shirayim, they don't nullify each other, and that's why it doesn't matter which opinion you go like. Here's the special rule. Okay, Tashema. Tivla, if you take the matzah on Pesach, you spice it up. The ketzach. I don't know the translation of ketzach. Or b'shumshmin, or with sesame seeds. It's a type of spice. Let's see, maybe it'll tell me in this Gemara. It's a dark seed, they say over here. That will put, maybe it's
poppy seeds.
It's put into bread. What do they put in the bread? Those things.
Yeah, poppy.
Not poppy. No, they put that on The kids don't like it. When it's,
Ketzach? Are we doing Ketzach?
yeah.
He says here fennel.
Oh, interesting.
That's Rashi.
That's what they say they put in bread?
That's cited as teachers as rendering.
The Bartanura says they put it in bread. It's similar.
Type of
What are
seed
those little
cultivated.
seeds in the bread? They like inside the actual bread.
Oh,
Like you're talking about rye bread?
Yeah. Like
In a
rye
rye
bread
bread.
has
What
it.
is it?
Yeah.
it's a black seed.
It's like a long.
Yeah. Never liked it very much.
It's in the Kimmel crackers. You know what I'm talking about? Oh boy.
It's not rye.
No, it's
Rye
not the rye.
seeds?
It's not the rye.
Rye bread. Yeah.
See, I've lived in Miami so long. I have seen your experiences. Can't remember what this is. What's in the Kimmel crackers? There's a little spice in the.
Kumun.
No.
Mine, yeah. But how do you say it in English?
It's kumun. Yes, it's called kumun.
No, he's not.
What is
saying-
cumin? How do you say it in English?
Cumin's a spice. He's thinking
Not
about
cumin. Not cumin. Cumin. I know cumin. That's like a yellowish.
Cumin.
It's in the rye
No,
bread.
this is
You
cumin
know?
in Hebrew.
Yeah, in Hebrew, it's kumun. Kumun. It's a black seed.
It's a black seed, and
You
it goes.
taste it. It's very good.
Sometimes it's in rye bread also.
Sometimes, yes.
Whatever.
I know it's kumun in English.
Okay, that possibly is ketzach. Someone took his matzah and he
I
put
think I
ketzach
know
on
this,
it.
sir.
Ketzach? I give up.
What is ketzach?
No, I don't know.
Yeah, but here it's translated as kumin. Or shum or sesame seeds. Or b'chol mini tavlin. Or all types of spices. You know, this is interesting medrash where they made food and they invited the king, and the king ate it and he really liked it. It was on Shabbos or something.
And then Shabbat.
Yeah. So 1 second. So he goes back to his. He has his cook make it, and he says, "Didn't taste the same." He comes back. Why didn't he says, "Oh, it's a spice of Shabbos."
Right.
Now in Hebrew, dill. How do you say dill in Hebrew?
שמיר, לא, דיר, זה שמיר, מה נדבר.
Sheves.
יכול להיות, לא, אני יודע שמיר.
Sheves. It's a spice. It's a play on words.
Shabbos.
It's a play on words because dill is Sheves. They said it's a spice of Sheves, which is Shabbos, that was the. Okay, so he spiced up the matzah. He says ksheira. Why is it kosher? Because matzah, elishin nekras matzah mitavelis. It's matzah. It's just called spiced matzah, but it's not matzah. It's still matzah. Kasal kadaita. We're thinking now, the afers latavlim tvevi matzah, that you piled up the spices more than the matzah. And so the spices could have nullified the matzah. Now, bishlam elamandam or basar batal azlinan. If you go after what gets nullified, and our question was the matzah getting nullified? Now, batal havikim avatal. The batal could become like the nullifier.
Talking about like a
The
whole
matzah,
or
yeah.
or piece of
Yeah, the matzah. The matzah could rot. The lechima afsha havale katavlin. Now, I don't know what the Gemara means here. When it rots, it becomes like a spice. What does that mean? Let me see what the... Rashi says, it's not matzah anymore. Okay. It doesn't mean that the
Becomes a
mold
frisbee.
of it becomes a spice. What it means is that it's not matzah.
But even that, but you have the essence of the matzah into it. You taste the matzah. If you
Yeah,
taste
but
the matzah,
yeah, we're talking about when right now. Yes, there's matzah, and there's spices on top. The question is, at any stage of this, will the matzah be just like the tavlin, not matzah? And the answer is yes, when it rots.
but matzah don't rot. Matzah is amid, bifnei kshamir.
I don't know. Those days it rotted. Today it doesn't. Those days they had soft matzah.
So they get stale.
Today it's a new. This is a new era.
No, it's true, because one time my brother brought to our house in Pesach a matzah by issue of a very responsible person, but it's like
Lafa.
the
Yeah.
same thing.
Right,
you
no,
know.
100%. That's why we have the problem. That's Gebrux. All of these issues are because we changed the way we make matzah. So the matzah can never be like the matzah can be like the tavlin. So therefore, it is the same type as the tavlin, and therefore it should not be batal. That makes sense. That's if you look at what gets nullified. But if you go after what's nullifying, the nullifier, well, if you go after the nullifier, tavlin mika havi matzah, can the tavlin become matzah? Tavlin can never be matzah. You leave it for 1,000,000 years, it's never going to be matzah. the spices. So therefore, it's something different. It's something different. It should nullify the matzah. Why is it counted as if you ate matzah? We're talking about here, not that you added on so much tavlin that it would nullify it. That's not the case. Rather, the ruba matzahi. Majority is matzah, v'lei betela, and it's not batal. It's meaning that the taste is not batal. It's still considered matzah. And dekanami, I'll prove it to you. The ktani matzahi elishenekras matzah mitavelas. The fact that it says that it's matzah, but it's just called a spice matzah, that tells me that most of it was considered matzah. It's just considered a spiced matzah. Okay, so we're not talking about nullifying it with the majority of spices, and then we have a question, 1 second, is it the same or not? Okay, let's stop over here.
Just came and you stop.
That's why we stopped.
Thank you.
Not at all.